Hello Reformers, and welcome back to Clash of Kings. Now, when we left off, we had taken quite a few fiefs. Now, they weren't pike, of course, but they were better than nothing, and one of them has already been taken back. But I was expecting this. I was treating the previous conquered fiefs as more of a distraction, so that when we do go for pike, which will be in this episode, we will be successful, and we will be able to take it without too many issues, I hope. Now, Naga's Hall has not been taken just yet, but it is under siege, as you can see. Now, Pebbleton was taken relatively quickly by around 6 or 7 vassals. I know, it's rather amazing to even imagine that we don't have those vassals in our prisoner's hold, but nevertheless, they were able to take it without too many issues, as I had actually removed most of the units there, as I decided that we would treat it more as a distraction, and I would take the units that I had from their garrisons and place them in Lordsport. So as you can see here, we do have a considerable amount in the garrison there. Now, Ironholt is not necessarily very well defended, which is probably not a very good idea, considering we do have 4 of the enemy's vassals still imprisoned there. Now, if we take a look at my army, I am getting ready to make Belakwo a vassal of ours, so we will hopefully be able to do just that. And many of you stated that it would be a rather good idea to, when we actually enter into pike, to have the archers at the front, well, not at the front so that they take a lot of damage, but in the front of our army so that they enter first and they're able to pelt our enemies and hopefully rain down death upon them, or at least rain up death, considering they are looking down upon us, but never mind. We will hopefully be able to make that work. And I have bought Belakwo a horse, so hopefully he'll be able to use that rather considerably in his upcoming skirmishes, and we will now be talking to him and giving him one of our fiefs. Now, I will be giving him Saltcliffe, I believe, because even though it is a village that gets, well, let's just say it does get ransomed and ransacked quite a bit, that it would be probably the safest one he could be awarded. So I think that's probably going to be the best idea. So I'd like to ask you something. And yes, would you be interested in holding a fief? Yes, Saltcliffe. There we are. Elias Mormont, I'm not worthy of such an honor, but if you really think I should be leading Saltcliffe, I'll do my best to bring them to the right beliefs and lead them to a golden age of obedience. And anyone who refuses shall meet my sword. Oh, it sounds like he will be ruling with an iron fist right there. Well, never mind, that is fine. Now, we do have Brynden still with us, which is great because he has the surgery that we so desperately need for our upcoming battle at Pike. So, we are now going to be heading in, and I'm actually just wondering where our vassal has gone. Well, nevertheless, we are going in, and we have a pretty similar amount of units. Well, actually, we outnumber them quite a lot, so theoretically, we should be okay, but you never know. Okay, so it appears that the Westerlands are having a couple of issues, maybe with the Riverlands, maybe they're fighting each other, not entirely sure just yet, but here we are at Pike. And it will take 7 hours to build the ladders. Please, no one intercept us. And yes, that did happen. But, of course, as this is, well, I'm pretty sure... Oh, did you see that? I think one of the vassals actually left. Maybe it was the king himself. Ooh, this is going to be relatively easy if he left. But, as I was saying beforehand, they are not going to be able to garrison those particular strongholds with too many units, so in the future, when we have the opportunity to take those, I will probably cut away if it is incredibly simple, so that I don't have to show you those things again, and obviously we can continue onward with the new experiences that will probably await us on the other islands that we have not been to yet, that is. So let us lead our soldiers in an assault and see how we do. Now, the only thing I am a little bit wary of course, is... Ow. Okay. I really did not realize how many units we actually spawn in with, usually. Now, it appears that the enemy is somewhat... well, let's just say somewhat outnumbered, and I'm hoping that the king himself has left. But we will soon see that, won't we? Now, it appears we are having to deal with a couple of invisible walls, as you can see here. I cannot move forward, so it is forcing us to enter and be a little bit closer than we would potentially like. So Brynden was taken down, which is Rather foolish of him, but I think I may have changed him to the cavalry tag, and I neglected to tell them to hold position. So let's actually do that now. Westerland's Knight, I need you to come back here as quickly as you can. Yes, there we are. So let's actually make it so that these guys go a little bit to the side, perhaps? Spread out. Thank you. Yes. That would be quite nice. Okay, so as you can see at the moment, we're not doing too badly. However, we have only killed 10 of them so far, which is a little disappointing, I have to admit. However, I think that will probably increase as time goes on, or at least I can hope so. Maybe we need to get our archers a little bit closer, and maybe move our infantry back, even though I really want our infantry to protect our archers. Maybe this would be the best idea. So let's get them to stand a little bit closer so that the archers will be in a tighter formation and they'll be able to shoot all the way up there to our enemy's infantry. That sounds like a good idea. However, we are having a couple of issues with some of the archers attempting to squeeze in through the gaps here, and yeah, I think I may have to separate our infantry a little bit more so as to prevent that from occurring. But at the moment, we're not doing badly. And it appears that we have actually taken out all of the enemy's archers so far. So I have a feeling that this may be the time that we will be victorious. Now, of course, saying that, I don't really want to jinx it, because if we indeed do lose a lot of units to death, that is, then we're probably going to be having a reasonably tough time of defending Pike. But as you know, this castle itself is one of the most difficult to take, at least in my perspective right here. As you've seen in the previous episodes, I did attempt to take it quite a few times, and failed each time. So we will be attempting to take it as many times as is necessary in this episode. I am pretty sure that only once will suffice, if that was indeed the king that left. And it appears it was, because apparently Lord Walden was still here. So there we are. We may have a chance to take him prisoner once again, because I believe he was one of the fellows that we ransomed. So that would be wonderful to get him back for the additional cash, because as I said previously, we ran out of cash to upgrade our units, and as a result of that, I did head back to our treasury, and lo and behold, I did actually find a huge amount of money. I'm not entirely sure how much we had, but for some reason we had a lot of it, and I think that is probably due to the rents and tariffs, I suppose, of the various fiefs that we have already captured. Now, as you saw there, I did make the move to move our archers a little bit closer, so we are going to be pelting them at close range. Hopefully that will make the biggest difference in us being able to be effective, at least. And it appears that there are a couple of units up there. There is an archer up there. I'm hoping he'll be taken out at least a little bit sooner rather than later, because as it is now, he is currently doing consistent damage, and that would be not too nice to lose one of our units to him. But, oh, did he get taken out? No, he just moved. Aha. Okay. Well, that's not too bad so far. So how many have we taken out so far? 37, including the Lord, and only 79 remain. Now, I am incredibly tempted to charge in here, because, as you know, I do get a little bit impatient with waiting for our archers to kill these guys, because they do raise their shields very fervently indeed, and they're able to defend themselves without too many issues. But as you see here, there are a couple of units that are without shields, and they are standing at the front, thankfully enough. So it appears that our elite Reach crossbowmen and Vale longbowmen are able to take advantage of the situation, as I would hope they would, so that's pretty good. Now, we are having a few issues with the space that we currently have in the actual foreground here, and I suppose that is intentional, so as to make it a little bit more difficult than usual. Now, one of you did send me a message about recruiting units from our own fiefs, and I did do just that, and as you can see here, I believe one of these archers, there we are, this archer in particular, this longbowman, is part of House Reformia, and as a result, I believe he provides us with more morale to our forces, so that is rather wonderful. And I must also mention that some of you in the comments were talking about how much right to rule I have, or at least how much Elias has, and I took a look at the reports menu, which is where it usually is, and for whatever reason, I do not believe there is a right to rule stat in this particular mod, and that is very strange indeed, as usually they do have some, but maybe in this case, then it is mainly an alliance issue, because as you know, in my special feature of A Clash of Kings, I did prey upon the likes of the Sister Islands, I believe. I cannot recall the name very easily, but yes, they were allied with the Vale, and you can imagine how that turned out, but yes, they were allied with a very strong force indeed, and maybe that is the only thing you have to consider when waging war upon people. So maybe that is what we need to try and find out before we actually try to conquer other factions, in future at least. Now, we're not doing too badly. We've only lost 2 units, and one of them being Bryndon, and the other being, what was it? An archer, I think? And they didn't even die, so that is wonderful, and we have taken out 60 of their units. So if I recall correctly, the king himself had 134 units, I believe, and the actual castle only had 160, so if we can take out another 20, I will then charge in our infantry, and we will do our very best to take them down. Because I believe then we would only have to deal with another 60 units rather than dealing with another 80 to 100, so I think that would probably be the best idea. However, as you can probably see here, our elite reach crossbowmen are running out of bolts to fire, but thankfully enough, our Vale longbowmen are still firing away here, along with our elite northern archers, so it's not too bad, I have to admit. But some of our fellows here are having a bit of a barbecue, and they are roasting themselves, apparently. They're not really wanting to stick around here, because of course there is an invisible wall right over to the left there, so as to prevent many units from surging up here, I suppose. And as a result of that, there are only a handful of units still firing, but thankfully they're still getting kills. So I think what we'll do in just a moment is move our archers back. We are doing that now. And I will tell them to spread out. And I will do it twice to make sure. And as a result, we will now be charging our infantry and our cavalry in. However, I would not like that cavalry guy to head up there just yet. But yes, there we are. Let us go. I will be joining the fray as well, and if I get taken out, so be it. I will be fighting alongside our men, and we will do our very best to take on these fellows. Now, these elite ironborn spearmen are a little bit of a worry, but I don't think we have to be too concerned just yet. Come on, guys, let's do this. We've thinned them out so much that we should, in theory, be able to do this without too many issues. Now, what I could do, in theory, is retreat and then build the ladders again and then come in to use our archers once more with a renewed amount of projectiles, but I don't know whether I would be intercepted by the king at that point. So I'm hopefully going to be able to avoid this and be able to take it straight up. Let's do this. Come on. Oh no. Let's do this, come on. I am slashing to the side very furiously indeed. I would like to get past, if possible. Oh no. It appears I am in the thick of things here. Stab him. Oh, I did 1 damage. Oh, yes. Oh, I actually did 24 damage. Okay. Well, I actually accrued a kill as well, so it appears that the overhead slash is not necessarily something that is too effective at the moment, as we do not have a lot of room. But as you can see there, Elias has actually advanced to level 19. So that is great. We will be able to hopefully level up some more of his skills and stats, and it appears that we have finally broken through Pike. Now, if I may say, I think this is mainly due to the fact that the king left the garrison just before we were able to complete our ladders. If he was still here, I think we would have had just an unlimited amount of pain right there, so it appears that we were lucky enough to succeed where he left. So That's not bad, I've got to say. Now, there is a couple of units underneath the bridge here that our units are having a little bit of issues fighting, so we will be taking those down as best we can. And I will be missing with utmost hilarity. So, yes, let us just continue to kill these guys right here. They do have shields, which makes it a little bit more difficult. But there we are. Taken down the remaining units from the Ironborn. And we are now able to head on to the unit screen to take a look at our casualties, which we do not have very many of, that is for sure. So it appears that you fellows that suggested the archer technique, and indeed tactic, are thinking with the right head on their shoulders. I was not in the last 2 sieges that we failed, so there we are. We took out 10 units ourselves, not too bad. And we obviously lost Brendan to wounds right there. Oh, and he managed to escape. Blast it. Oh no, I really wanted to capture him once again, but never mind. We will just have to move on. Now, I was able to read this, the life of Aegon the Conqueror. So thankfully that gave us +1 to leadership, which definitely helps us out with our wages. Now, I think we will be... Yes, we have actually been reading the essay on logic, because I believe... Oh, it appears that I do actually have 12 intelligence now. I actually thought I only had 11, so reading this first would have given us 12, and that would have, yeah, that would have actually been pretty good, but oh well. Never mind, that is fine. Brendan can now take that, and we will be taking this for ourselves. That is definitely for sure. Oh yes, we did all the work after all. So yes, we will now have pike. Now, thank you to those of you that actually gave me the tip of plundering it and sharing the spoils equally, because apparently you do not lose honor at that point. So yes, thank you for that. I actually did not realize that that was the case. So yes, you learn something new every day, as they say. And now we do actually have a vassal, which is a little unfortunate, but I think he already really does quite need the funds to be able to recruit a lot of units and everything, so let's give him that. Why not? And we do actually get a little bit of relation increase with him as well, which we are going to need, that is for sure. So thankfully we are now in Pike, and we will be heading to... Oh yes. This is what I wanted, isn't it? I think this is what I wanted, because I want some tools and fine velvet to be able to change our home city from Ironholt to Pike, because goodness knows the absolutely incredible nature of the defense at Pike is just way too good to pass up. So we will be losing 2 bread and paying 2,000 coins. Ouch. Okay, well, I suppose it is worth it. Now, is there anything else here that I can actually buy? This decorated 2-handed axe is rather nice, heavy axe. Although I do really like this balanced greatsword, so I think I'll leave that. Now, I would like to head into the tavern potentially, maybe find some units that we could recruit. Veteran merman, sellsword crossbowman. Oh, a ransom broker. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, apparently I don't have anything to sell. Unfortunate. Ironborn spearman, should I take these? Why not? Only 60 coins. And we'll take these fellows as well. Oh, I'm only able to hire 1? Are you serious? Oh my goodness, really? I had no idea that we had only lost 3 or 4 to death in that last battle. Oh well, that's fine. And we will now be leveling up quite a few of our units right here. Yeah, I really thought that when we were looking at the casualties we had lost around 6 or 7 units, but apparently they were only wounded, so yes, that's obviously something to be very joyous about, but in terms of recruiting new units, it's a little frustrating, but never mind. Our morale is now on high, which is great, because we were having issues with that, and there goes King Balon Greyjoy himself. He is currently moving to Pebbleton, I believe, so yes, there we are. Now, Elias has leveled up, thankfully, and he is able to get 21 in strength, and as a result, we will be leveling up his power strike once more. So, let's see here. I was eventually going to be getting archery, wasn't I? So let's level up our archery proficiency a little bit more, because of course one-handed weapons is relatively simple to level up. So, wow, there we are. We finally took Pike, and yeah, it was not a very easy fight, that is for sure, but it was a lot easier with the king not there, that is for sure. So, as you can see here, this town has no improvements, of course, But you can build a barracks, and you can recruit some troops. Now, if I were to go here, you can see, this is what you fellows told me about in the comments and in private messages. Thank you once again. You can recruit troops of House Reformia for this town. Recruiting will cost 800 dinars, and will require at least 1 day. You have 0 dinars left here, and it can recruit for 0 times, and have 1830 dinars in your coffers, of course. So, if I click on this, then it will recruit 1 time, and it will take 800 coins from me, of course. So let's just leave it like that, and then we will see, after a little bit of time waiting here, what kind of units it will award us. Now, of course, considering we are currently having issues with money, I do actually have quite a bit in the treasury, but it would require me traveling back there and... Should I keep them? 2,500 dinars. I'm not too sure about this, because 2,500 dinars is not exactly a huge amount, but that would give them back another vassal. Okay, I think we have to employ some standards here, so let's just say, if they award us with 4,000 or more dinars, then we will be accepting the offer. So let's reject that for now. Now, of course, that will definitely reduce our relation with a lot of people right here, which is not too good, I have to admit. But such is the way of things in war. And, oh, it appears that one of the good brothers is actually over here. He has 81. Oh, no. He has a lot of units. Oh, and there goes one of our vassals. Oh, my goodness, maybe we should help him out, should we? I think we should. Yes, he's only fighting... Oh, he's fighting with the king as well. Oh, no, this is not good. I was hoping that we wouldn't have to fight anyone out in open combat. I was hoping that they would throw themselves against the walls of pike. Because, obviously, we had a very difficult time in taking it, and I think we would have had an even easier time of defending it. So, it appears I will have to head over here and help our vassal, of course. Rush to the aid of Blackwo Mentarius. Oh, yes. Okay, so we have 306, and they have 86. And I think you may have noticed that King Balon Greyjoy himself fled at the sight of us. So that is rather reassuring, I must admit, that he is even fleeing from us. And maybe as a result of that, we may have no issues in future, maybe? Well, as one of you told me in the comments quite a while ago, I think in the part 5 of Clash of Kings, the AI does not take into account the amount of units that you have, but takes into account the amount of units that the actual keep has. So yes, I had an inkling that that was actually the case, but it was nice to have it confirmed by one of you. So let's get our units over here. We do have a huge amount of... Actually, I only have archers. Well, I actually have a huge amount... Okay, I have 84 archers. That may be a little bit overkill. Maybe. Okay, hold your fire, please, archers. Thank you very much. Okay, so let's take a look here. How close are these fellows? Quite close, but not close enough that they can actually do any damage to our archers just yet. So, let us move our archers closer. We'll move our cavalry up here just to make sure that we are going to survive. And we have a few infantry units. 9, to be precise. So, let us begin firing at will. Oh, yes. Here we go. Look at this. Oh, my goodness. I did not realize I had that many, but there we are, nevertheless. 195 damage from a couch lance, and then I met with a tree. Yes. Oh, my. Okay, come on. Let's take him down. Or maybe not. Hit a shield, and have my horse absolutely be decimated. This is not good. Oh, no. They are spearing me to death. Okay. This is very strange. Okay, there we are. I started to take damage. A little bit strange right there. I was thinking that I was probably dead, but it appears that my armor is too good for them. Which is rather nice, I must admit. Usually my mistakes are fraught with absolute failure. But it appears this time around we are doing a reasonable job. So I did charge in my cavalry, didn't I? Yes, I think I did. And our infantry have also charged in. Now our archers are having a few issues with some of the units here, but I think we'll be fine. Let's do it. Yeah, there we are. Take that guy down, and Whoa, okay. It appears that our archers are way too effective for my liking, but yes, it appears we will have to, okay, try our best to get any kills here so they can get some experience. Wow, okay. Well, maybe I can take this guy out with my sword pointed right at him. Yes, there we are. Go on. Yes, there we are. Nice block right there, and I have a huge amount of reinforcements helping me out, so I suppose I should leave them to it. Oh my. Okay, well, our archers are doing reasonably well. We have lost 5 units so far, which is a little disappointing, I must admit, considering we outnumber them so heavily. But that is probably why we have lost that many, because we do have a huge amount of units. Some of them are bound to die, after all. Now, let's take a look here. Where am I running off to? Yes, I'm running in the right direction, thank goodness. Okay, well, we will experience the battlefield as an infantryman by the looks of things, at least for the latter half of the fight. And it appears that there is actually a mounted unit to the south, and he is currently harassing our units rather fervently, but I believe he has been taken out now, so that's pretty good. Okay, come on, I have my sword at the ready, let's do this. Yes, there we are. Good. Chase him down! Oh my, I don't think I'm actually going to be able to catch this guy. He has too much athletics, and I have none. So, yeah, it appears that our veteran northern archers are going to have to help us out right there. So, wow. My goodness, who knew having an archer army, or at least an archer-focused army, in a Clash of Kings with the reduced amounts of arrows that you can carry would be so effective? I did not realize. I was mainly taking it for the siege at Pike. So, there we are. Not too bad. And we do have a large diversity as well of archers. So, not bad. Okay, so we lost man-at-arms, basically. That's all we lost. That's not too bad. Our ally did lose a little bit more than that, though. Yeah. A little more valuable units. And we killed 6 units. Not too bad. Okay, so there we are. Another relation increase for Balakwo. And you arrived just in the nick of time, Elias. You have my deepest thanks. That was a good scrap. No joy like the joy of victory, eh? Yes, it is. That is very true. And he managed to escape, but we do get to take this fellow who currently has -8 relation with us, and apparently he is the prior lord of Saltcliff, which is the village that I gave Balakwo. So, there we are. We will be taking him prisoner, of course, and then heading on. Okay, so now I do realize that the ransom broker in Pike could actually be given many of these prisoners that we have in the prisoners' holds of Ironholt and Lordsport, so I'll probably do that off-screen at some point. But for now, I think we will be heading back, and Balakwo, I really think you should rest up. Is he resting up? No. What is he doing? Oh, he's patrolling around Ironholt. Okay, very nice of him, I must admit. Wow, he is doing his duty like a true soldier. Oh my. Okay, so what was I actually doing here? Oh no. Okay, I suppose I will place the Lord in the prisoner's hold here, and I would like to manage this town, and I'm building the barracks. Okay, so let's go to Pike, and we will manage the town and build a prisoner's tower, and we will pay from the treasury, because I believe we do have quite a significant number, maybe around 15 to 20,000, I think, from our various tariffs, and that will take 62 days. Ouch. Well, nevertheless, what I will be doing now is heading to Ironholt and taking the various amounts of vassals out here. And, oh, there's another Saltcliff. Aha. And we will be transferring them. We'll actually take quite a few, as many as we can at least, and transferring them to Pike's prison tower, or at least the prison tower that will be built eventually. So it would be nice to have them all here so that it makes it more difficult for the opponent to be able to retrieve them. I think that's probably sound logic, not too bad. And Lordsport, of course, I have just put in this fellow here, Dagon. So let's take as many units as we can. There we go. And place them in Pike. There we are. Okay, so before we end this episode off, I would like to upgrade as many units as we can. And I'm actually hoping that Brendan will level up at some point, because at the moment he is not necessarily being able to acquire too much XP, because I did give him a horse, and I would hope that that would increase the amount of kills that he would be able to acquire, but it appears that that has not been the case so far. And yeah, we'll just have to see what we can do with him. And I only have 77 coins left, which is a great time because I was able to level up everyone, so that's good. Now, I believe that Brendan does only have a club that he can use because his strength is so low, so I will deal with that off screen, and hopefully next time we see him, he will have a rather suitable weapon. And as a result of that, I will be ending this episode off here. So, I thank you for watching our final victory at Pike. I could not have done it without all of your suggestions and support, so I thank you very much for that. And so, I thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.